shakalaka!
Get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam.
Irving and Curry, one-on-one. Irving puts it up. It's good! Kyrie Irving from downtown! And the Cavaliers by three. And welcome to the jam. Come on and slam.
Yo-ho! Welcome back, friends, to the Ultimate Warriors podcast. I'm Ben Christopher, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, the man who taught Colin Sexton how to get buckets, Mr. Teddy Ballgame. How you doing, Tedster?
Doing great. Just got done watching the Cavs beat up on the Timberwolves there. So doing well.
That game got a lot closer than I thought it was going to. But
Yes,
some clutch free throws, we made it work. So it was quite a week for the Cavs, and we've got a lot to go over today. But we have a very special guest joining us today, and I've actually heard from multiple sources close to the Charlotte Hornets that Michael Jordan called him on draft day this past year because he wanted to take him over LaMelo Ball. But he told MJ, no, I can't. I'm a little too busy hosting the world-famous Across the Cavs podcast. I'm talking, of course, about Zach Weiss. Zach, how are you doing, buddy?
Hey, Ben. Good to be with you. It was a good Cavs win. It was also a bad Cavs win because they didn't hold it down. I mean, give credit to Minnesota. I've been high on Anthony Edwards for a long time, so to see him actually play this well vindicates me, like pushing all over the place. Take Edwards, forget everyone else. But I'm good, man. We got the win, 10-11. Got some tough games ahead, so good to start the week with a W.
Heck yeah, man. Hey, thank you for joining. We had some technical difficulties last week with you, so I appreciate you jumping on with us again. We kind of ran a rerun here last week. So thanks for coming back. And Zach, you've been on with us. We've got a third Ultimate Warrior, and he's everybody's DJ's favorite DJ. I'm, of course, talking about DJ Andrew Smith. He's our third Ultimate Warrior. He's going to let everybody know what to expect from today's show.
Can't wait. Let's do it. Andrew Smith.
DJ Andrew Smith.
Coming in hot, 2021, Ultimate Warriors, you already know the one, back in the mix like we never left. DJ Khaled of the podcast, we the best, been on point, running like Steve Nash, Elon Musk size wallet, made of cash, riding them bikes, lifting, getting hella swole, man, lightweight, yeah, buddy, Ronnie Coleman, Ted's got the looks of a Spartan bod, got every chick on the cashier squad, hair slick back, looking like a young Leo, Matrix moves on the ladies like Neo. Zach in the building, got the special guest spot. Bringing the best takes, man, you know they hella hot. Across the Cavs, yo, give it a listen. High quality beat, man, you don't know what you're missing. Cavs on a roll, so you can call them butter. Number one podcast I could ever stutter. Thanks for tuning in and come back again. DJ Andrew Smith signing off, my friends.
DJ Andrew.
Yeah. Another gem.
He does it every week. It's always just so good. So, Zach, you got a shout out in there. So thanks again for coming on. I've got to start with you, man. Look, the Cavs are having a heck of a year. I don't think a lot of people saw this coming. I know we did. Ted and I, we kind of thought this is where we'd be, but nationally, people didn't really expect us. And a big part of that is Colin Sexton. So this guy's having an amazing year. And it's actually astonishing to think that ESPN, they did their top 100 players before the season. They didn't even have Sexton on that list. So, Zach, I've got to ask you, did you see this coming from Sexton?
Well, first I did. And second, not only did they not have Colin Sexton in the top 100, there was, I don't remember who the writer was. Dylan Windler was listed as the best Cav under 25 despite never playing a game in the NBA. So,
What?
Yeah, haha, LOL. No, there was no JK after that LOL when he wrote it, by the way. This was serious. They meant it. It is terrible. I mean, here's why. Ben and Teddy, I'm high on Colin because he ended last season on a tear. He put up 40 against the Celtics team. That was the runner-up in the East late in the regular season before the shutdown. I mean, man gets buckets. He's had his couple of rough games of late, but what he did against Minnesota tonight, he got back to his old self. Look, he's dealt with some ankle problems, and he looks great. I'm not surprised. Colin Sexton, three things: death, taxes, and watching Colin get buckets 3 or 4 times a week.
Absolutely. So, dude, we're going to play a little game. And I mentioned we had some technical difficulties last week, but we're going to play this again. We're going to see if Colin Sexton has scored more or averages more or less points per game than a couple players. And I'll let you and Ted both take a guess. So
Okay.
Sexton right now, he's averaging 24. So do you think he's averaging more or less than Donovan Mitchell?
I'll let Teddy start here.
I'm going to go with more. He's averaging more than Donovan Mitchell.
Right, I'm going to go less just for the oppositional side. I think Donovan's recent performances might put him ahead of him.
Donovan's getting close, but he's at 22.8. Sexton's at 24. How about Gordon Hayward?
Well, I think I actually just did a write-up yesterday. I think Hayward was at 23.2, so I'm going to go Colin.
You're right on it. I'm sorry, Ted. I'm very impressed. That's literally my notes, 23-2.
I was going to say the same. So.
Yep.
Let's go.
That was good. How about Jason Tatum on the Celtics?
Oh, Teddy, you go first. I don't want to steal anything. And in case you might get it without me getting a guess here.
I'm gonna go with Tatum. Tatum's getting more.
I'm going to oppose it again because I think Jaylen Brown's been the guy. I don't even know if Tatum qualifies having played enough games because he missed almost 3 weeks with COVID.
True.
So they actually Brown is their leading scorer, but Tatum's also at 26 points a game. So those two young guys are incredible for them.
I'm not excited to go head to head with two guys combining to score 53. I mean,
I know.
Brown Tum might have Sexland beat.
Sexland, I don't know if you listen to our podcast, but Cleveland, the Cavs have gotten in some legal trouble here recently, Zach. I don't know if you heard about this, but they're starting to call the backcourt Sexland. And the problem is Ted already trademarked his apartment as Sexland in Cleveland. Yeah. So I
have a lawsuit going right now.
Yeah, I don't know what the next thing you were going to say was, but I'll say it was not that. But I hope you win, TB. I hope you win this.
All right, I got one more for you guys, and then we'll move on. It's just fun looking at these points per game because nobody expected Sexton to be where he's at. Last one, Anthony Davis. Is Sexton scoring more or less than Anthony Davis?
I'm going more. I feel like I haven't heard a ton about AD. I'm just going to go more. Anthony Davis who
got more as well. Yeah.
Yep, you guys are right. AD's at 22-2.
Yikes! So, less than Mitchell, less than Sexton. Maybe it's time to trade AD for Mitchell if they want to repeat.
Hey, why not, right? Well, so hey, we just kind of joked about the Sexland backcourt. That of course means we have another guard in that backcourt, and that's Darius Garland. Zach, what have you thought of Garland this season? Have you been impressed by him? Is this what you expected? What have you thought about him?
Yeah, so some days you watch Garland and you're wondering why isn't he being more aggressive? Why is he making some of these decisions? But nights like tonight and the last couple of games are the reminder that he is talented. He barely played at Vanderbilt, a school that's not necessarily known for producing top-tier NBA talent. He's come in year 2. I think he was averaging 15 points and 5 assists coming into tonight. I think he passed both of those. He's a great passer. He's got a great shot when he's confident. And that was my thing last year. I don't think he was confident in his game. Now that he is, he's not always going to be the guy for you, but he can win you games with his talent.
Yeah, his confidence this year has really impressed me. I didn't see it last year, so I thought that was great to see. Ted, is this what you saw coming from him?
I was hoping we'd see what we're seeing. I mean, he had 19 and 11 today, and he really kind of took the game over for us towards the end there. He hit some really tough buckets, so I think confidence, you guys both mentioned that, is definitely huge with him. Just getting playing time is huge for him with him being so young. And I'm excited. I'm excited for him, especially after a game like today. So
yeah,
hopefully keep that up.
Absolutely. Well, so today's game was great. We also, since the last time we recorded a live episode, even though we actually did, but we lost it, the Cavs had a huge game against the Nets. This was the new Big Three Nets, Kyrie's first game back. James Harden was there. Kevin Durant was there. And the Cavs beat them in double overtime. So, Zach, I want to hear your opinion. Was that the biggest game the Cavs have had since LeBron left?
I think since he left the second time, no question, because a couple of years back, took the Nets, I think, to triple overtime. And despite 41 from our pal Jordan Clarkson, the Nets still came away victorious. So I think to stun them in double overtime, and my favorite stat about this was that when LeBron had his 25 straight against the Pistons in double overtime, he was 22. Well, Colin had his 20 straight in double overtime. He was also 22. So you got a couple of talented 22-year-olds with great nicknames. Actually, I don't know. A young Bull, King. I mean, it was great. That's probably the most impactful performance by a Cav since then. I mean, Kyrie was known for his 50-point outings. You stick number 2 on Colin, and all of a sudden he's coming through with Kyrie-type moments.
The battle of the numbers. Colin Sexton's like, hey, if you want to retire me and Kyrie both, 2 twos up in the rafters. Like he's trying to make that happen. No, that game was awesome. Like before the game, I actually looked on ESPN just to see like what our chance was to win. And we were under 10% chance. We were actually at 6% is what they thought our chance was to win that game. And we ended up beating them in 2 straight games. So that was pretty sweet.
Yeah, my favorite part was the fact it was the Big Three's first game, so that everybody was watching it. It just made it that much sweeter. And Sexton's performance was the best I've seen since LeBron was here. So it was definitely my favorite game.
I loved it. I loved every second of it. And today's game was great as well, but that one you just can't really beat it. So hey, before we move on, I should mention we're a part of the Mark One Sports Network. We're a Cleveland-based sports media company. You're obviously listening to the Ultimate Warriors. We're the Cavs, the NBA show. We also have the Danger Zone, who cover our Cleveland Browns. It's a great time to be a Browns fan. We're finally good for the first time in basically my entire life. So definitely tune in. CLE Tribecast, they're here to talk about the Cleveland Indians. They're also good. So that's pretty cool. We made the playoffs. We've had a very strange offseason. We traded Francisco Lindor. We're losing our name. Take a listen. Jeremy and Kevin are going to let you know what the Cleveland Indians need to do here moving forward. And then we've got the Mark One Sports Show. Tabor's going to keep you up to date on the world of sports, news, movies, whatever's hot, you're going to get it from them. And then we've got Moneyline DFS. They help you with fantasy sports. It's free advice. And Tabor has literally won like $100,000 this year. So you're going to want to take that free advice. And speaking of fantasy, Ted, did you make any money this weekend?
So I actually did a couple DraftKings and FanDuels today. I haven't checked to see if I won. But last time I looked, I was in the money, but it was nothing big. So for those of you who like doing different types of fantasy sports or just sports gambling, really, if you ever sign up for Thrive and you use our promo code Mark1, it's going to double your first deposit. It's a little more like sports gambling than it is like DraftKings and FanDuel where you're drafting teams. It's more about player props, but we've had a lot of fun with it, and it's free money. So give it a chance if you haven't yet.
Heck yeah, definitely. Please do. And hey, Zach, I'm so happy that you're with us. I know you have a world famous podcast. You want to just let everyone know what they can expect and why they should tune into your show?
World famous.
You heard it here.
I get Jeff McGinnis and Tim Alcorn in the span of 5 days. All of a sudden, I'm world famous. Well, first off, thank you very much for that. Second off, Across the Cavs is part of the Across the Board Sports Network, headed up by our pal Chandler Adams, who is a Browns diehard. He had a bet. I don't remember what had to happen for this, but he ate a ghost pepper during one of his recordings. I don't know how. He's still alive. He's still with us. He's back to his old self. No lingering side effects, but had applied for an opportunity with Across the Board. Turned out they had a Cavs opening. Lifelong Cavs fan. Cavs opening, no brainer. And it's been a lot of fun. I'm in New Jersey. Not many Cavs fans in my midst. As you see, my Big Z jersey behind me had that since the 5th grade. Thought it was for me to wear the first time I got it. Nope. That's to be framed. You don't want to wear a Big Z signed jersey when you're not even 5'5" yet. But love the Cavs for a long time, and this podcast gives me opportunity to either dwell on all the negatives or give my take on the positives. And one thing I like to do is when there's no guest, I like to keep it inside of 25 minutes so that it's a quick listen. If it's a work commute, if you're walking around the grocery store rummaging for your ham, for your sandwiches, you got just enough time to get the whole podcast in before you get home and get back to work.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I love ham sandwiches, and I've listened to your podcast at the grocery store. So you're actually doing that right, because I literally have done that. But
hey, analytics are crazy. They give me all that. They tell me where people
I was at Giant Eagle Market District, Cuyahoga Falls. No.
I knew that. Aisle 6.
You got it, buddy. Well, hey, we appreciate you repping us out in New Jersey. Like I know there's not a lot of Cavs fans out there, so we definitely appreciate that. But speaking of the Cavs, so right now we have Andre Drummond. He leads the leagues in rebounds. He's averaging over 18 points and 14 and a half boards a game. We also have Colin Sexton. We've talked about him a lot. He's literally like, I've been getting reports from multiple sources close to every team the Cavs have played because I have all these sources, and they say their players can't sleep at night because Colin Sexton is haunting their dreams. So with those two guys on our team, do you think we have 2 All-Stars this year?
I think we have 2 players putting up All-Star statistics. However, Andre Drummond was an All-Star twice with the Pistons, but you look at some of his averages, and he probably missed the All-Star game in the years he was at his best. And he made it when perhaps he wasn't. I don't know why they just pick and choose when to put him in. I just kind of have a haunting suspicion that when it comes time to pick, with how many talented guards and forwards there might not be many true centers repping the East outside. I would expect Bam to get the nod ahead of him, just based on his improvement. In fact, he just put up 40 the other night. And with Colin, I want to just say Colin's an All-Star. I think he deserves to be, but Malcolm Brogdon, Jaylen Brown, Zach LaVine might be his direct competition. I mean, those guys have been unreal. The Pacers have been playing at a high level without 2 starters, so it's hard to take away from Brogdon. Zach LaVine has been clutch as they come, despite the Bulls losing on a historic Lillard shot the other night. I want to say Colin's an All-Star, Ben, Teddy, but I just feel like he's not. He might be a year away. Kind of like Devin Booker never gets the respect for the All-Star folks. Colin might get that same treatment this year.
Yeah, so it's going to be hard. I think if the Cavs are over 500, they're still in that middle playoff, 6-7 range. Like, I think Sexton will definitely get a hard look. I kind of agree with you, especially with how Jared Allen's been playing. I know we were talking about that a little bit. I think he's going to take a little shine away from Drummond. So I'm hoping that Sexton will be there. It's a good thing he's not in the West because there's probably no way, like you mentioned, Booker, and it's very hard for a guard to get in the West. But I don't know, Ted, what do you think? Is anybody going?
I agree with you. If we keep winning, I think they got to at least give us one, whether it's one of those 2. I'm not high on Drummond though, because you said Allen. We traded for him. Plus, we're going to have Kevin Love coming back, and I think he's going to steal some of his rebounds, some of his shots that he's been getting. And Zach mentioned Bam. He's having a great year. I mean, Embiid's an MVP candidate right now, if not the front runner for it. And then you got guys like Sabonis, Vujicic, who are having great years as well. Randall, if you consider him a center. And Sexton, I know he was 9th in the East in points per game coming into today. But I was looking, and I would have Bradley Beal, Jaylen Brown, Trae Young, Zach LaVine, Harden, Irving, and Malcolm Brogdon, probably all before him.
I don't think Harden. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think that Harden he didn't even want to play at the start of the season. He's barely been in the East. I don't think he deserves it, but I don't know.
You know what it is? And by the way, I could see Kyrie missing it due to the games he missed. I don't know how they're going to penalize him for that, or Harden for wearing a fat suit for the first 10 games. But, I'll be honest. The only guy I'll be happy with if Sexton doesn't get it is LaVine, because I've been a fan of his for a long time, going back to – I didn't see him in college, but I caught a glimpse of him when he was a rookie in 2K15. And, I mean, right then and there, he was a good shooter. Then he was in the dunk contest twice. And I think he does need to be a number 2 option for a team to be really good. But you watch him, how many other guys? Well, Colin creates his shot incredibly well, but you watch the Bulls, and I know this is the Cavs podcast, but Zach LaVine, Zach LaVine can create space when there is no space with no time. He can just do a step back or a triple threat position when he doesn't even have his dribble. It's unreal what he can do with the ball in his hands. So I hope he gets in. If not,
he torches the Cavs too. I swear, I've gone to a couple games, Cavs Bulls, and he just torches us.
We were at one. What was that last year? He put up like 40 plus on us.
Yep. His plus minus was like 28, and they won by like 4 points. It was just silly.
Was that the last game before COVID stopped things? March 10th?
Ooh, was it? It
Was it a Bulls win? I think.
yeah, it was a Bulls win.
Bulls
It might have
won.
been
It might have been.
we went to if you remember, Ted, we went to a Lake Erie Monsters hockey game and a Cavs game like right before the shutdown. So it probably was.
It might have been, yeah, honestly.
That was not fun to watch. I'm glad I wasn't there to experience that one. That was just they just beaten the Spurs in overtime, and then this was how they end their season. It's like we didn't know it would end their season, but I had a haunting suspicion they wouldn't finish. Oh, it was bad. Yeah,
not the best. But Ted, do you have so what I'm going to do here? I want everyone to get to know you, Zach. Thank you for coming on. I've got some Cavs questions we're going to run through, just kind of a rapid fire, some fun Cavs questions. But before that, Ted, do you have an obscure Cav of the week? Because last week, and again, unfortunately the recording is gone. No one can find it. But Zach got it in like 1 second. You pretty much said, and he's like, boom, got it.
He did. He got it way too fast. So I tried to make this one a little bit harder, but I think you guys could still get it.
All right.
So he was a point guard. He was known as a bit of a journeyman. He played on 8 different teams had a 10-year career. Who?
Eric Snow?
Nope.
I feel like Eric Snow was only on Seattle, Philly, and Cleveland.
Yeah.
But
he was. This guy was only on the Cavs for the 2010-11 season and half of the 11-12 season.
Oh, come on.
And he averaged 10.3 points per game and 4.1 assists
Ramon
over
Sessions.
his career.
Ramon Sessions.
Yep.
Let's go, baby.
Zach is so good at this game. We need to have you on every week just for this game.
Just for that.
Hey, sign me in. Whoever the guest is. Sorry, we got a quick interruption. Oh, hey, Zach, what's up? Oh yeah, it's what's his name? Oh, I think it was Martinez Andriushkavicius. Yeah, he's the guy.
You got it. Dude, that's awesome. I think I would have gotten to Ramon Sessions, but that was incredible.
Well, he gave me the year, so I knew Baron Davis only spent part of 1 year, and I think that was the be all end all.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
Well, let's get to know you a little bit here, Zach. So I've got some Cavaliers based questions. Who is your favorite Cavs player of all time?
All time, if you asked me this in 2009, I'll tell you it's LeBron James. If you ask me now, it would be Matthew Dellavedova. I hope he gets well soon.
LA.
Yeah, Dele, the mate from the land. That's why my Australian accent stays off camera, generally speaking, or off the audio. But I love what Dele brings. I just remember when the Cavs played the Heat the final year before Bron came back. He drew the start next to Kyrie on national TV. Played 30 minutes, only shot, I think, 1 of 7, but played great D. I didn't get to watch him while he was in college, and I've seen all the highlights since. Just loved his effort, and obviously what he did for them during their first 2 playoff runs. When LeBron came back, just incredible for a guy of his stature, undrafted, and overlooked by many.
Dele is like a Cleveland favorite. He's just such a hardworking guy, a scrappy guy. Everybody freaking loves him. I remember when he signed with the Bucks, we were happy because he got his money, but we were all really sad to see him go.
I was heartbroken. I remember exactly what I was doing, where I read that. It was not fun. And I went out, and within 3 months, your boy had a Bucks Dellavedova jersey.
Oh, I love it.
That's my favorite jersey that I have. And I have probably like 15 or 20 total.
Well, so I guess this one's not so fun because I think I might know the answer, but your favorite current Cavalier, excluding Dele. We'll say excluding Dele.
Excluding Dele. Is that legal?
We're making it legal. We're making it legal. Just for this.
He's injured right now.
He's injured.
Yeah. Well, so we're told. Maybe, I don't know. It's been the same thing with no updates. All right. Favorite Cav, probably Colin Sexton or Kevin Love. I know we've barely seen Kevin, but we got to see him a lot last year. You don't have a lot of guys that can shoot the ball at 6'10", that can shoot the ball as well as he can. Colin just puts on a show every night. When he gets the ball, you're expecting 2 points when he gets inside the arc. And as we know, with the Cavs, other than Jordan Clarkson and LeBron and Kyrie, that's very rarely been the case in the last decade. So to have a guy that can give you points like Colin really gives you faith in your team every night.
He's been so fun to watch this year too. Like he's had some big moments. He's put up big games. And he's made the Cavs cool. I mean, we're actually getting some like national media coverage, which again, he wasn't even in the top 100 NBA players from ESPN. So, yeah, it's been really fun. So, Zach, do you think the Cavs will make the playoffs this year?
So when we were talking last week, I think I said they were more likely to get 7 or 8 when obviously, the recording that we shall never speak of because it doesn't exist. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, zoom, zoom.
The lost recording.
The lost recording, kind of like, the lost episode of your favorite Nickelodeon cartoon that we all still talk about and make references to. I'm not going to make the pun. Everyone knows what I'm talking about, SBSP.
I love it.
You know how it is. Anyone that watched the NFL playoffs knows what I'm talking about, with the slime cannon and the whatever. What was my call? Oh, playoffs. Yes. I think they're good enough to get in, although it's funny. I was watching the Bulls-Knicks before we hopped on, and it's hard to say. I think the Cavs are right in line with the Knicks as far as I think where they're going to end up finishing. Both teams have their stars that are kind of surprising. It's Randall with the Knicks. It's Colin with the Cavs. Everyone expected big things, but not like things they're seeing. I think they'll probably be 9 or 10. I don't know how it's all going to shake up. I know Toronto's going to get better. I know the Heat are going to get better. And those are two teams the Cavs are ahead of right now. The East is weird. The Nets have the best offense and worst defense of all time. It's simultaneous. Like, what is that? It's like you're playing 2K, pressing on every possession. Like you're playing the Loyola Marymount offense in college, or the Grinnell where Jack Taylor scored, 120? So I hope they make it, and I think they'll get to the play-in. But I don't know what's going to happen there. My crystal ball is kind of getting foggy.
No, you're at the same boat as us. We figured that they would make that play-in tournament, and I still kind of think they'll be there. Whether they're the 9-10 or the 7-8, I think that they're going to be in that tournament. So. Yeah. Zach, what's your favorite Cavs jersey of all time?
Oh, favorite Cavs jersey of all time. Thinking. Let's go earned edition, icy cold playoffs.
I would grab it from my jersey closet, but you already know that I have it.
Yeah, I was shocked when you pulled it out last week. And I saw you as soon as I sent my tweet in about, I think it was a birthday, and I posted, maybe it was Colin or Jetty in that jersey. Like, that's your jersey. Like within 20 seconds, like you were just, it's a great jersey.
Actually, I will.
Let's go.
He's got to get it. He gets too excited when we talk jerseys. He's got to get it.
I respect that. I got my new Colin jersey coming in the mail hopefully in the next couple of days. I'll have 2 Sexton jerseys at that point.
I actually have 2 of them.
What? Let's go. Colin and Kevin. Colin love Kevin Sexton.
You have to. Those jerseys were so good. So good. All right, so we're gonna do a couple like who would you rather have, and we're gonna talk about some of our favorite Cavaliers, Ricky Davis or J.R. Smith. Who you want?
J.R. Swish, baby. Ricky Davis is like, we don't need LeBron. I'm just gonna get my to see Ben just going full Ricky Davis, just taking that shirt off.
That's J.R. man. J.R. doesn't wear a shirt.
I just said Ricky. Yeah, that is actually a great idea, and I'm gonna mute myself for the rest of the segment.
Anytime someone says J.R. Smith on this show, I have to take my shirt off.
Just take a shirt off.
It's fair, it's fair. We're not under the same sex land restrictions the Cavs are, right?
Actually, That's right. We're good. How about next one, Andre Miller or Terrell Brandon?
Got the man on SI, no doubt. TB had more swag than Andre Miller. Andre Miller had more assists than any Cav in a regular season ever. I mean, it's a tough one, but TB had the swagger, and TB had to wait for his turn. Andre just got it right away.
I love it. TB was he actually is like, he's like the first Cav that I really remember watching. So, do you play basketball?
I do. I have not played since our last recording because the weather is just weird. I'm sure you guys are getting as slammed as we are. I think we got 21 inches right now where I am. The snowplow's been by 10 times tonight, and you still don't see any road. But I no indoor men's league this year, so I play when I can. I get my 2K in. I haven't logged on to 2K yet today, but I probably will when we finish for a quick My Team game. Shout out to my power forward, Big Z.
Heck yeah, man. Yeah, Ted and I, we recently just started playing again. I run like an open gym around here, so I can invite people to come and play. So we've been getting like 15 guys. Finally got back in there. Feels really good to get out and run. Ted, I'm sure you would agree.
Oh, yeah. Something other than a treadmill is That's all I need. Something other than treadmill.
Yep. So Zach, a couple more questions and we'll peace out here.
Sure.
Slam dunk or 3-pointer?
If you asked me this question in the 1970s, I think I would probably rub my eyes and say, "What, good sir, is a 3-pointer?"
That's true.
But we're not in there. That's I'd have to be double the age I am for that to even be viable. I'm gonna go 3 because a dunk is fun. A dunk is cool. When you miss a dunk, it's like, what? You're terrible. But when you miss a 3, it's like, oh, that almost went in. Yeah, and then you're playing pickup, right? You miss a 3, you get back, you're talking to your man. I almost made that. He's like, yeah. I was like, I shot that 10 feet high. He's like, yep. He's like, I almost made that. He's like, you almost made that. And then when you make the next one, it's like,
good work. Good work.
Fire. Yeah, good work. It's harder to make. And I just think when I'm playing, the feeling of making, I mean, I'm 5'10". I don't have the hops of Spud Webb or Nate Robinson. Not at all. I have the hops
or
of
Ted Christopher. Ted Christopher he can dunk, and he's like 5'7". That's not true, but we could pretend.
Definitely the 3.
Threes are worth more, so I'm going with 3. I'm going with the 3-pointer as well.
Yep.
All right, hey, what's your favorite basketball movie? You can see maybe I've got a Space Jam poster in the background here. Always love Space Jam. What's your favorite basketball movie?
I gotta probably go with Space Jam and Coach Carter, because Space Jam, I mean, first off, Space Jam 2 will not be anywhere near as good as Space Jam 1. No matter what, it doesn't matter how much of Wayne Knight we get, it can't. And I mean, it's just a classic. And Coach Carter is one of the first basketball movies I've ever saw that I was really old enough to understand the whole meaning of it. Obviously, there's a lot to it. Also, an underrated one is Glory Road, which I feel like kind of gets swept under the rug sometimes when talking about best basketball movies. Josh Lucas did a great job portraying the coach, and I think that the themes it touched on make it even better than the other two.
So we love NBA Jam on this podcast. I've got the arcade machine behind me. NBA Jam is like my favorite thing of all time. Who would be your number one NBA Jam Cavs duo? So they had to play together. But who would you take?
Honestly, I think the most deadly combo, I'll give you two options here. I would probably go Mark and Brad. Price and Doherty were just incredible. I honestly would go LeBron and Big Z, because you got rim protection, and I think they'd give Ilgauskas a kind 3-point rating, because at the end of his career he started to knock him down. 7'3", 6'9", they could both rebound. You could throw lobs one to the other. Like, Z was a good passer. Just imagine LeBron and Ilgauskas together.
Oh, I love that.
Wow, man. It's the two All-Stars, the only All-Stars of the 2000s for the Cavs right there.
I love that answer. I was thinking when you said LeBron that you would say Kyrie with him, but I didn't. I actually had – Ted, we may have talked about this. Did you think of Z with LeBron?
I did not do Z with LeBron. I think I did Kevin Love with LeBron.
Okay. I love Z with him. Our personal favorite for the show is Ricky Davis and Darius Miles. Just that would be so fun to dunk on everybody with, and it's also just ridiculous. So
yeah, and then when you play against LeBron, and LeBron's somehow on the other team because somehow time just bends, they're gonna be like, yeah, LeBron, sit on the bench, and then they're actually gonna sub LeBron out, and then they're gonna get destroyed.
I love it. No, that's great. I threw that one. You didn't expect that one. That's always a fun question. So I had to.
I like that question.
So last question before we peace out here: LeBron or Jordan? Who you got?
I'm going Jordan. Sorry, Cavs Nation. You could hate on me. Jordan basically won 6 straight titles. He won his 3 straight in the 90s. Retired. Went to play baseball. Batted .220 with an OBP close to 300. Knocked a couple of homers out with the Red Robins, and I mean, came back, had a ridiculous performance, a historic performance after being away for almost 20 months. Who's done that when it was voluntary, not by injury? I mean, wow. LeBron's been great. LeBron's made it to 10 finals. He's also lost 6, and usually I don't hold the losses against him. Jordan never lost on the big stage. If Michael Jordan had, I almost wanted to say Phil Collins. If he had Phil Jackson, it was in the air every night. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Every night when he was with Phil Jackson, good things happen. I mean, look, LeBron's the second greatest all time, and he's never going to convince me because Jordan will never play another game, but he was just incredible. So I'm going to go MJ. No disrespect. I love LeBron, but Jordan's my guy.
You are entitled to your opinion, even if it's wrong. We'll have you
It's
on
wrong.
Monday to
It is
fully
wrong.
debate it, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, Zach, hey, thank you again so much. 2 weeks in a row jumping on. We've got the lost episode we'll never see. This was a lot of fun, though. I think our listeners are really going to enjoy it. Guys, make sure you check out Zach's podcast. Zach, you want to say it one more time for him?
Yeah. Across the Cavs. You can find me on Twitter at Across Cavs, ACROSSCAVS.
Heck yes. Please tune in. It's a lot of fun. A lot of times, like you said, they're quick episodes. You get them in, they're great. A lot of good statistics. So, Ted, anything you want to say before we peace out here?
Thanks for listening, guys. And never forget, Warriors blew a 3-1 lead.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
It's over. It's over. Cleveland is a city of champions once again.